I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't run after her when she looked me in the eye and said, "I just don't feel the same anymore." I simply met her gaze, gave a quiet nod, and let her go. Not because I stopped loving her, but because I was done convincing someone I was worth staying for. Before I go any further, let me just say this. If someone ever walked away from you after you gave them everything, hit that subscribe button. And if any of this sounds familiar, if it feels like a piece of your story too, leave a comment. You're not alone. Really, you're not. My name's Zane, and I spent 5 years with Alina. She was the kind of person who laughed too loud and made impulsive plans. I was more the quiet type, early mornings, peaceful routines. But together, we balanced each other. Or so I thought. We built a rhythm. Sunday morning breakfasts, those late-night grocery runs, that silly TV show we always claimed to hate but never missed. Then, somewhere in the 5th year, I noticed her pulling away. At first it was subtle. Her phone always turned screen down, then the slow replies to texts, and eventually, the silence that crept in when I asked how her day had gone. She didn't sleep with anyone else, not physically anyway, but emotionally, she had already left. One evening, we sat at that small kitchen table we'd shared for years, and she looked at me and said, "Zane, I feel stuck. I don't think I'm happy anymore." There weren't any tears. No yelling. Just this heavy stillness, like love was a language she used to speak, and now she'd forgotten the words. I didn't beg her to stay. I didn't list our memories or the times I put her first, even when it hurt. I just told her, "Okay." She packed the next morning, took the photo albums, her favorite perfume, even that chipped coffee mug we both adored. I stood in the hallway and watched her go. She didn't say goodbye, didn't even glance back. The days that followed felt still too still. The quiet in the house stopped feeling calm and started feeling heavy. I kept going through the motions, going to work, eating the same food. But I wasn't living, I was just getting by. My friends said things like, "You handled it so well, man." They didn't see the breakdowns at 3 a.m. or know that I kept her contact pinned, even though we hadn't spoken. They didn't see how I froze when her favorite song played, hoping, somehow, she'd appear in the melody. I didn't block her. I didn't post vague quotes or try to get a reaction. I just stayed silent, even when I saw her in someone else's photo 2 months later. Even when she looked more radiant in that picture than she ever did in the home we shared. Even when a mutual friend let it slip that she said I was too predictable, too boring. Said she needed more thrill. It broke me. Quietly. But I didn't reach out. Because if someone can walk away from you, you shouldn't have to convince them to stay. Time moved on, and so did I slowly. I started piecing myself together. I hit the gym, picked up books I used to say I'd read someday, learned how to cook real meals instead of living on takeout. I even painted that one room she always said lacked personality. I wasn't holding out hope anymore, but I also hadn't completely closed that chapter. Then it happened. A year later, almost to the day, a message lit up my screen. "Hey, can I call you?" I stared at it for what felt like forever. My chest tightened. I typed back, "Sure." 10 minutes later, the phone rang. Her name appeared like a memory I'd kept locked away. She sounded nervous. "Hi, Zane. I hope I'm not disturbing anything." I said, "You're not." Then silence. The kind that comes when someone's gathering courage, not the kind that breaks you. Finally, she said, "I saw a photo of you the other day. Someone posted from a birthday party. You looked good. Happier." I didn't respond. I let the silence linger. She took a deep breath. "I'm not calling to chat. I wanted to say I'm sorry." Another pause. "I made a mistake. I thought leaving would help me find something more. More excitement. More passion. But all I found was noise. People who talk without meaning. Who kiss without feeling. And in all of that, I realized something. Still, I said nothing. She went on, her voice cracking. "You weren't too safe. You were home. You were the calm I didn't appreciate. And I left that behind thinking chaos would feel better. But I was wrong." Then she said it. "Zane, letting you go was the worst mistake I've ever made." And here's what most people wouldn't expect. I didn't tell her to come back. I didn't say I was waiting. I said, I forgive you, but I'm not the same man you left. There was quiet on her end. I continued. I've learned how to live without you. I've built a life where my peace isn't dependent on whether or not you choose me again. She whispered, I still love you. And I said, I believe you. But love alone isn't enough anymore. Not after everything. Not after the silence. Not after feeling like I was never enough. I wasn't cruel. I was just honest. Then she asked, Is there any chance for us? I thought of the nights I cried alone. The days I second-guessed my worth because of what she said. The person I had to rebuild from the ground up. And I told her, there might have been. But not now. You taught me how it feels to be forgotten. And I can't forget that. She cried. Said she understood. Said goodbye. This time, I didn't turn around. Not all closure comes with a second chance. Sometimes it's knowing the person who hurt you finally sees what they lost, and realizing that it no longer matters. I didn't stay silent when she moved on because I was weak. I stayed silent because I was strong enough to let her go. And when she came back a year later calling me her biggest mistake, I didn't reopen the door. Because I had finally stopped being one. If you're still hurting, still trying to find your footing, let this be a reminder. You don't have to chase the people who left. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all.